compels you. The power of Christ compels you. The power of Christ compels you. What the fuck is that?
That is Flakka.
Yeah, Flakka, but it could be any of them. Mojo, K2, Spice, formerly bath salts, also known as the face-eating drug. These synthetic drugs, Flakka being the subject of today's show. By the way, welcome to the other side. I'm Wesley.
I'm Will.
And these are crazy people, right? I mean, that's how crazy people act. No, these are people high on a $5 drug, also called $5 insanity.
If I was to watch, like, The Exorcism or any other demon-possessed, and then you watch a video of Flakka, that guy rolling around on the ground, looks like he's high, or looks like he's possessed.
Yeah, look, you could see that on any horror movie that you saw in the 80s or 90s dealing with demonic possession. I mean, it's really creepy.
But these are synthetic drugs, so
yes.
This shit's being made for us. This is tailor-made stuff. This isn't it grew in the backyard and you cut it down or, you know, anything like that. This is like almost the LSD type manipulated substance.
Yeah,
And,
or meth or, you know, anything else that's cooked up in a laboratory. That's what this is a lab drug.
So it's called Flakka. They also call it gravel because when you see it, it looks like the gravel at the bottom of a fish tank. It's a derivative of alpha PVP, and I could write out the name, but it would take up the whole screen of what it really stands for. But it is basically an emotion-enhancing drug.
It's a psychoactive substance.
Molly times 2,000.
Say, yep, just like Molly. It's just, you know, it basically increases all your sensations. Body temperature spike to 105 degrees or higher.
If you take the right amount, like if you're a chemist and you take the right amount, you can get kind of a cocaine high for 4 hours or so. And this drug is cheap, so it's like $5 or so to get ahead of this stuff for a 4-hour high. I mean, you can't beat that.
That's obviously what people were going for.
But if you take a little too much, then you're running down the street buck naked with demons running all through you. And I'm trying to figure out why anybody would be designing this drug anyways.
You know, you never know. It's the same thing with bath salts. That's basically what this replaced, you know, is bath salts, and how that was, you know, designed synthetically, made to look like actual bath salts, but drove people fucking crazy. But it was cheap too.
And it's given to like homeless people and things like that because it's, like I said, it's a cheap drug.
Yeah, especially if it's something that causes hallucinations, dangerous behavior, and seemingly increased strength in people from the reports. I mean, the one guy that runs to the back of that car doesn't seem like it bothered him too much. And then the other guy nearly yanking a front door off a police department off its hinges.
Why would you get high and go to the
I'd really like to know. I mean, I know he was high, but I mean, what thought process, even in a, you know, inebriated or altered state of mind, leads up to, you know what, maybe he just had a problem. He needed a police officer. I don't know.
I mean, this came out in like 2012, so this isn't anything new.
No,
and
it's been around for a while.
It's been rampant in Florida, and it's trying to snake its way. It's still staying south, but it's snaking its way, you know, west across the country. Like I said, it's manufactured in China, which I heard that they recently shut down those labs. But you know, once one thing goes down, someone builds it up over here, and there's been a lot of cases lately in New York of it, and I'm just blown away. And even the drug dealers will give some of this away for free just to get you hooked on it. The reason I wanted to talk about it because this new incarnation of the drug now is it looks like gummy bears. Yeah. And so take a couple gummy bears, and next thing you know, you're doing the zombie stomp there in your frickin' front yard. Yeah, and because the reason we want to talk about is the angle of why is this stuff being made? I mean, yeah, the easy answer is, well, people want to get high. People want to sell drugs for a living. So they create something that gets people really high, they get addicted to. Yeah, that's the easy answer, but with drugs that seem to have such a insane high associated with them, it almost seems like there's a purpose, that someone's using it for other means. You know, behavioral control, perhaps trying to create some sort of super soldier, you know, or something along those lines. And I only bring that up because it wouldn't be the first time it's happened. It happened before with LSD. Most of you might know this. LSD was invented in Switzerland,
But in the 50s, it was used by the CIA as mind control or a truth serum, is what they were hoping to get out of it. They didn't get that out of it, and, you know, it was then the recreational use that occurred after it was introduced over here. It led to it being, you know, made illegal. But it wouldn't be the first time that a government or a group of people used a drug to control the masses. So is that a possibility of all of these synthetic drugs popping up?
Well, yeah, you know, it's very interesting. Like I said, this being something that it's enhancing your emotions. So it's, you know, it's working on your brain. It's dumping all of your serotonin, all your dopamines, you know, which can cause brain damage too, by the way. This isn't like, you know, if you go on a strong acid trip, you can come back and still somewhat be normal. But from this stuff, you'll still have the, you know, the effects. You know, I don't know if it's going to lock you in that mania, that excited delirium for long, but it's still, you're going to have the brain damage from it. But it also made me wonder, is because biblically it says that if you take if you're taking drugs to a certain, you know, you can open up your brain, you can be receptible to demons. So are we seeing real, you know, are we seeing demon possession? Is all the safeguards in your mind kind of like, you know, Inception? You know, remember the movie where you spin the little deal? If you lower the walls in your mind, you can control them and do.
I think more so we're seeing the explanation for a lot
why do you act that way is my thing.
Well, I honestly think that
violently. They're violently slamming into the back of a car.
Oh, yeah. But the thing is, we have that in us already. You have all these chemicals.
I've never thought about
No, I'm not saying you've thought about it.
A car and
but what I'm saying is
hood.
you have the chemicals in your brain already. And I think this is just, you know, when you introduce a new... look, because what does alcohol do? Does it really alter the way someone thinks, or does it lower their inhibitions?
Lowers your inhibitions.
It lowers their inhibitions.
Right.
So the way they act is the way they wanted to act anyway, but you have your barriers, so you don't do it. So I think with drugs like this, especially with it flooding your brain with chemicals that are already there, that are already shown to increase your mood, and adrenaline is something in your body. I mean, there's enough adrenaline in your body.
And hallucinations, I didn't even talk about that. Yeah. So it has that factor too, sorry.
But there's enough adrenaline in your body that, I mean, you've all heard the story, the 90-pound woman lifting the car off her kid. That's superhuman strength, but drugs like this could just unleash that hidden potential, and then you see the results, and yeah, the people, they look possessed, but to me, they just look crazy.
Big time. Yeah, so either we discovered what's caused possession for all these years, or we're witnessing a newer phenomenon, you know. They have banned the exportation of alpha PVP to try to slow it down. Like I said, you should see a die-off because if you can just go on YouTube and look at, there's videos all over the place, and it's not a high that I would want to ever experience.
Yeah, and that's the amazing thing to me is I don't advocate the use of any recreational drugs myself, but at what point did heroin not become enough for people? You know, when this stuff started coming up, is it because it's cheaper to manufacture?
That's part of it, but you're also,
because it's cheaper to buy.
Thanks to the war on drugs, you know, you can stop heroin in certain areas.
That is true.
And so if you're already addicted to something and you're looking for that next high, the next thing that comes in, that's what you're going to buy.
Yeah, so I guess what Chris Rock said was true.
Right?
That people will find a way to get high.
If you're an addict, you're an addict, you know. But again, I find it really interesting, their behavior. I've been pretty messed up in my life, and I've never wanted to slam into the back of the car or jump on someone's hood or, you know, run down the street buck naked. And the reason they do that is because this drug raises your body temperature to 105 degrees, which is dangerous.
Same as ecstasy,
you know,
spiking the body temperature.
And so you want to get your clothes off and just run around and throw shit. And I just don't think that's really... Alcohol's one thing.
What about the guy humping the stair? Or the Russian that can't speak or stand? He can just make noises.
Is China sending this drug over here on purpose to make us fucking nuts?
Or more nuts.
Yeah, more nuts. Or possessed or whatever.
Yeah. No, I personally just think it's just flooding your brain with too many chemicals. And that the brain basically, because what I see in these people... especially the Russian. That to me is, it's not as dramatic as some of the others, but The guy can't stand. He can't speak.
Yeah.
All he can do is make... It's like he's been reverted to being a baby. It's
well,
like
there's
so much...
There's like 2 modes on this drug. Even like bath salts, the old guy that ate the guy's face off, which Marie Lanza put that in her book. I thought that was really funny. She used, that they use the excuse of bath salts, but really they were zombies, where this is the opposite way around. People are using bath salts and they basically become zombies. So you got 2 things that happen here. You either take this drug and it paralyzes you and you can't really, your brain like locks up and you can only do certain things, or you turn in frickin' Hulk.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting. Don't touch this drug.
No, don't touch any of this shit.
If you're a young kid out there and you're wanting to go out to the club and experiment, stay away from shit that looks like gummy bears.
Just don't.
Or looks like shit that came out of the bottom of a fish tank, because you don't know if you're going to be the one running down the street buck naked and get your ass shot.
Exactly. I mean, if you are
no wonder cops are on edge.
Yeah,
because there was footage of them in Florida. They taste
behavior.
I couldn't find this one, but but I saw it on another video, and they tased this guy 3 times. And he fought. They were security guards. He took down 2 security guards and went running down the street naked.
Yeah. Yeah, it's insane.
Incredible.
So I was just want to get back. If you are a younger person and you're wanting to try any of this crazy shit, if you're just anyone who wants to try this crazy shit, remember one thing. Your brain is like a big computer. Okay, this is a computer right here. Take a glass of water and pour it on a computer and see what happens. And imagine that that's what this shit does to your brain. You're fucking up the wiring, you're fucking up the electrical synapses, and you can turn yourself into a raging rage monster.
Gonna do the egg.
Yeah, no, I wasn't gonna do the egg.
This is your brain.
This is just,
your brain on drugs.
That's the way I look at it. Anything you're doing where you're messing with, the chemicals in your brain at such a high level as this, it's never going to end well for you. So just say no to drugs.
So Flakka, I want your input. What do you think's going on? Is it just the dopamine
and not just
flooding
Flakka,
your brain?
Mojo, all the rest of them that are all these other synthetics that are messing with your mind? What do you think is going on with them?
Yeah,
that's making people act like this?
Is it just all the chemicals in our brain, or are these people becoming receptible to spirits? Because hey, if you believe in angels, demons, and things like that. I mean, the numbers suggest that there's 3 demons to every human being on the planet.
Now, how does that work, considering we keep increasing how many people are on the planet? I've always wondered.
Well, maybe it takes it down to there's only 2 demons now for every...
Must be. I've just always wondered, with human population
there's a lot.
growing, how that statistic works.
I mean, so who knows? Because some of these people, they look possessed. But again, if you start going down that rabbit hole, then you have to ask yourself, well, how many people are locked in mental institutions that may be possessed? It always comes back to demons with me, I guess. This is Will.
I'm Wesley.
The other side.